Alright, so hi channel, how's everyone doing today? It is August 29th, 2022. It's 8:07 p.m. and I'm just trying to figure out how you all feel today. I know me, I feel like tired, a little overwhelmed. Got a little bit of stressors that are like a little manageable. As time goes on, I feel like things will definitely get better. And as I start to really mature and become into my grown and sexy, it's gonna hit way different. Here and there, I still feel like, I'm just a teenager. Here and there, I want to wear my colorful, bright hair. I want to show some little cleavage. And then other days, I just want to like cover up my whole body and feel secluded. And then other days, I just want to feel so open and free and don't care about what anyone thinks or how anyone else feels. And how many people feel like they're judgmental of themselves but just mental of others? Or have anyone been experiencing anything out of their element? Like, if you've never been through anything, have you been through something? Like, share it. We should get used to sharing things. It feels awkward in person and on social media. They're making a lot of things very, what's the word I'm looking for, like comedic, but like comedy wise, they're making fun of a lot of different things. But that's just to let you know that these things are happening, and the best way to get it out into the public or into private sectors is by like using it in a funny way, or making fun of it, or saying that it's not true and making lies about it. So it's just different ways to get the message out there that there is something unordinary happening to all of us. And for those that like believe in zodiac signs or astrology or numerology or humanity, whatever you want to call it, it's really big for people to find their groups and find their friends or find their acquaintances when it comes to things like this, because it's real to some of us, especially me. I've been studying horoscopes and astrology for a long time, but not using it really for other people, but really using it for myself. It's not that I know it off the top of my head, not anymore, but here and there it's a hit or miss when I kind of predict things to be accurate about a person. And then other days, if I try too hard, it really doesn't work out. Or if I get anxious, it doesn't work out too necessarily. But if I'm very calm and collective here and there, most of the time I'm pretty correct. And of course, people don't want you to be correct, so they'll try to gaslight you or they'll try to manipulate you. But the truth of the matter is, it is what it is. You're either right or you're either wrong, or you're like in between things. So the main reason why I made this video is because how many people like have favorite numbers, or how many people tend to see numbers a lot? If you do, you can leave them on the comments below. But I think I'm about to start going into explaining what some of these numbers mean. And there's no such thing as bad numbers, as they're saying. It's just everything has a meaning, and it's better to look at everything in a positive meaning versus a negative. Even though there is good and bad always surrounding us, it's better to just look towards the light versus looking towards the dark. But a lot of things manifest out of the dark into lightness. So, and some of those things were very beautiful and gracious, just like, as they say, our lovely planet Earth started from darkness, and then there was light later on. So just rare random topic that I chose to pick on. Like, y'all know that I always talk about some random rare things, but I'm gonna try to make at least there's like 15, maybe 20 videos explaining like what these numbers mean. And I'm going to start with, you know, it could be your birthday numbers, it could be, you know, house numbers that you always, or apartment numbers. Like, pay attention to those things. I really do think it matters. I know for me, growing up, we used to always see maybe 3636 or 3696, 3436. Like, now that I'm even like making this video, it's starting to come back to me. Some of the houses or some of the apartments we used to move to that always had those numbers based around it. So I'm definitely going to do my research and do my homework to see what those numbers mean. But the first one I want to get started with is if you ever see, for me, I have seen a lot of numbers. So the first one I'm going to start with is 555, or 5555. So I hope I did that right. So it's either 3 5s, or there's 4 5s, or it could be 55, or just 5 by itself. But I tend to stick around the 3 5s. So it's a set of 3 of 5s, or a set of 4 of 5s. And bear with me, and hopefully I get like a lot better at this, but if not, it's okay. So if you ever see 555, which are 3 5s in a row, that means change is coming. There's expansion happening. There's growth coming. There's grace and kindness. There's salvation. Also, be kind to yourself. And that's what the 3 5s mean. So change is coming, expansion, growth, be kind to yourself. Maybe someone in your family is struggling with wellness. For anyone and everyone, we all have our illnesses that can turn into wellness, or we have wellness that still tends to be an illness at times. So, you know, diabetes and hypertension and high blood pressure, obesity, people suffer from anxiety, things of that nature. It's very, very common in our community where we, you know, speak to people or within our family. And either we have a professional to speak to, or we've been dealing with it on our own, with eating salty foods, eating sweet foods, eating too much meat, eating too much mucus-based products like our milks, our yogurts, things of that nature. So that's what it can mean, that you're probably dealing with it yourself, or dealing with it around you in your circle, and people are not bringing light to it. And then we have stop and take a look at your life. So if you see 3 5s straight across, stop and take a look at your life. Are you where you want to be mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, whatever it is, career-wise, lifestyle-wise? Keep that in mind. Even without those numbers, is something that everyone should take into consideration, because this is why so many of us don't feel so well. So many people like to sleep in. So many people, you know, feel bored because they're not using their full potential in certain things. And it's very important that we continue to grow as a community, but grow individually. Like, what's the things that's been going on now has been testing people very individually, but then also it was something that we needed in a way, for us to dig deep inside of ourselves and pull out our true best potential that can help us, so we can definitely help others. I believe strongly in helping other people, and I guess because of the religious based, or, you know, fellowshipping incidents that I have been in, dealing with church, and, you know, be there for thy neighbor, and, you know, do good things for one another, it makes the world go round. Like, I feel like if you do something kind and good for someone else, eventually it's going to come back around, as they call that karma. So that's the 5 5s. That's it, 5 5s. That's the 3 5s. So if you see 3 5s, keep those in mind. And then we have 5 5 5 5. So 4 5s, and that is patience, harmony, balance, and peace. More comes to that. That means work on your improvements, work on your manifestations, create balance, and have success in different ways, but also start to discipline yourself and keep your determination in your lessons. No matter what you go through, stay determined, stay motivated to get your goals completed and have achievements. And there's a sense of freedom. So having freedom comes with a lot of responsibility, unfortunately, even though it seems like it's like, how could you have a lot of responsibility and you're free? Well, people still depend on you while you're free, and you even depend on yourself while you have this free, open spirit and free, open heart. So keep that in mind whenever you see either 3 5s or 4 5s straight across, or continuously you may see a 5. I'm sure one of those phrases that I have went over, it's gonna resonate, and that's why you probably keep saying it at the end of the day, because there is something that an angel is trying to speak to you. And when it comes to these numbers, they actually call it angelic numbers, and a way for, you know, angels to speak to you, or the universe to speak to you. Whatever it is that you believe in, they actually already put things into categories and groups and already gave it names. So we might as well use them and get used to them, and not feel intimidated by them, but actually embrace them, and, you know, start to make small changes in our life so we can see different results. I don't know how many people like expect something different to happen, but yet we're doing the same things constantly. And that even goes for me. Like, I make a lot of videos, and to me it helps me get out things that are buried deep down inside, or things that I have been holding to myself. And I feel like it is making a difference and making a change within the world. But I do have to take it a step further, like creating more product, or, you know, having more clients, so that way I can really see a transformation or a transition in other people's lives, or within myself as a, you know, guru or a specialist, or, you know, someone that has astrology and numerology as a passion a little bit, but as a hobby, or as a God-given, goddess-given talent or skill. So look forward to me creating more content on this. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike, and hopefully we'll be able to, you know, build a good rapport for things like this. This will be fun, and this will be very exciting to open up people's ideas to learning about themselves. And I guess people shy away and fray away from learning more about themselves. But if you celebrate your birthday every year, or every 2 years, or when you feel like 18 and 21 and 23 and 24 and 26 and 30 and 40 and 50 all matters, well, there's meanings behind those ages. And just celebrating it and not even fully understanding what you're celebrating, yes, you're celebrating yourself, but it's bigger than that. And again, if you want change, you should start to change your mindset and learn different things in order to gain different results, or put in different actions to first help yourself, but second to help your family, third to help your community. And also, if you just, again, family meaning your children, your mom, your dad, whoever it is, your friends, because some people had to create family outside of their original bloodline, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you do want to rekindle relationships, like, you're mainly the one that have to put your best foot forward. You have to get out there and like pull those people aside to make your life, you know, better, or to figure out where things went wrong, or how you have let them down, and sometimes they just need someone to listen. So it is kind of tough, like being that ear for people, especially if you need an ear too. But try not to blame anyone or point the finger at people, because half of the people that point the finger a lot is really just pointing the finger right back at themselves, and they're trying to put it on someone else and not take responsibility or accountability for their actions, for their words, for their mistakes, for their achievements, or for the lack of whatever it is. So I hope this video was very helpful, especially starting off with 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, those are some of my numbers that I see constantly, but those are not all of my numbers. So eventually we'll get there. But start to pay attention to those things, or maybe don't pay attention to it. But there is some unbelievable, incredible, magical, suspicious, uplifting, downgrading, upgrading things occurring to us, especially as we get older, but as we stay the same, and as we start to have children, it's only going to get more questionable and more exciting. Like, there's been so many videos where it seems like people's insides have been glowing up. There's people with like sparkles on them. There's people, hands catching on fire. I don't know if they just put hand sanitizer on their hands or whatever, but there's something definitely going on. And if you have been paying attention on YouTube or anything about people's DNAs unlocking, and there's RNA and just so much that the world has been hiding from us, that most of us have to figure it out on our own, or just turn our head to it and be blind to it. But at the end of the day, it's not going to stop it from occurring. It's still going to happen. So you might as well get some type of power and education on exactly what might be happening, or get your predictions in and write it down, because we can't necessarily stop everything, but we can definitely be a part of it, or we can just, again, continue to be ignorant like we have for so many years. And blaming the other person technically is not going to make things better, but if it makes you feel better, I guess, hey, go at it. But it's not going to change your life, and it's not going to change maybe the toxic mindset that you might have. So, I mean, best of luck and best of blessings to you all. But this is, again, just the beginning of a lot of things. So don't give up. Same thing for me. I can't give up. I don't want to give up so easily. But if you need your rest, get your rest. If you need your sleep, get your sleep. If you need more meditation, meditate. If you need to work out more, work out more. If you need to drink less, drink less. If you need to smoke more, smoke more. If you need to cut back from smoking, do that too. So you can just be able to see how your body and how your mind all reacts to those things, and see if there's something different or better by doing it or not doing it. We all just need to live our best lives and try things we never did before, and come out of our comfort zones, come outside of our states. There's people that are still inside of their homes and haven't left out. There's people that probably died inside of their homes and no one knows about it. There's people that never left outside of the DMV, or out of Arkansas, or out of freaking Tennessee, or out of Colorado. Like, get out and see the different ways that people look at life, or how life itself has, manifested into these beautiful trees, mountains, bodies of waters, flowers, and I guess still lovely food. Like, who doesn't love food? Unfortunately, like, they have created so many different ways to eat stuff and smell good, like, cannot help it. But to fast means a lot, and I'm working on it. Like, and I feel like I fast overnight when I'm sleeping. I feel like I fast until 12 o'clock p.m. because I'm only drinking like waters and teas and fruit, and then I'm eating like solid stuff throughout the day. And eventually I'm gonna get to like not having nothing to eat but probably a lot to drink on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and trying to do a little bit of study time of something that I love, because I feel like, me personally, I am a healer and I am like a spokesperson in a way. And I guess we all come with our different obstacles when it comes to, you know, announcing what it is that we love or dislike to do. And I guess I had no choice but to be ready for that clap back, because it is what it is. Like, how else will people know about what it is that we have of service if we don't put it out there, as much as they say to keep it to ourselves? Like, how would you know it's someone out there that's willing to want to listen to you? And the more that you guys participate in these videos by commenting, liking, disliking, sharing, you know, I don't mind giving you my phone number. I don't mind giving you my email, just so we can have those conversations via recording, if that's okay. But then, or just privately, however you want to do it. But for some people, it might be free consultation just to get an idea of what it is you feel like you're struggling with, or there might be a service fee. Like, we need money, unfortunately. So doing a lot of things for free, it gets overwhelming just being a volunteer, basically. But if it helps that person relieve their stress and kumbaya moments, then I feel like it's necessary. But the one-on-one sessions, don't forget that everything has a small cost to it, or a fee, especially if you feel like it's going to be very beneficial to your life. Why not pay or do what it is you need to do in order to better yourself or your family? Like, if we can pay for movies, pay for drinks, pay for food, why not pay for an investment or something to make you better? So I'm saying everything is not for everyone, but I hope this video reaches a lot of different people, and I hope you all share your comments and your thoughts and your concerns, and continue to raise the frequency and stay positive and kind to yourself and others. And if you don't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? And that is coming from RuPaul, and this is coming from Ralph Smart, and this is coming from myself. It's very important to keep love as a great idea, no matter how it gets. Love does pay, but it does not pay. But having that passion and that type of kindness, I feel like it goes a long way. Like, to be this really hatred person doesn't, I mean, it gets people far, but it doesn't get people so far. And being assertive and aggressive and passive gets you to different levels too. So sometimes we do have to amp it up and feel okay about it. I just say for myself, sometimes taking me to a very, very aggressive state makes me feel some type of way sometimes, and I don't like feeling that way. So I think I like the me that's very calm, collective, but then I do like the me that like gets a little feisty and rowdy and like cusses people out and tell them about themselves, because people do need to know about themselves, but not everyone is technically listening. So it does tend to be a waste, but not necessarily, because you have spoken it out into the universe. So even though the universe may already know and people might already know, you did it, and now it's like echoing throughout, you know, your society pretty much. And that's how I tend to see things. but I don't really know how anyone else sees anything, because I rarely speak to anyone anymore. And I guess because it's the COVID thing, the pandemic, but we have become so detached from, building those groups that we used to when working, when, at the club or whatever. So I find myself on Eventbrite and Groupon, getting around people with like-minded activities, so that way I can just either grow with them or still just grow on my own. But it's good to do things by yourself sometimes, and half the time you're not even by yourself, because there's always someone else around enjoying the same thing that you're enjoying. So get out there and still make those conversations with these people, even if their intentions are the best or the worst. That will be the learning blessing that we get to gather. But don't give up on yourself or on the world, on the society, or as what we call this systematic project that they built for us, because our lives basically evolve around it. And there is a way to get out of being so systematic and following all these rules. It's literally simply getting out of the city. It's like moving into the wilderness and moving across the country, where you feel that sense of you don't have to answer to nobody. That's what it's all about. Feeling like you don't have to answer to no one and pay a dime for anything, because technically we weren't back in the 1400s, 1300s. Like, we were doing exchanges, again, the bargaining thing, but there really wasn't people knocking at the doors asking for, rent and stuff of that nature. There was like literally that monogamy type of a thing. Well, not monogamy, but monarchy, where, the king or the queen had most of all the riches and stuff like that, and provided for civilization. And people, when they did receive earnings from the community, they still gave to the king and queen, or gave to whoever they felt was of power, and they didn't have to ask for it. The people just felt gracious enough and thankful enough to just give. Once they have received, it was just like a recycle. And that's what we really have to get back into. Is we're not spending, we're recycling continuously power, knowledge, resources. Some people, yes, are stealing them and taking the resources for granted, but there's some of us that really appreciate the resources that the earth has provided for us to maintain what we call a civilization. So these are very deep thoughts and conversations that I tend to have with others, or kind of have with myself, or end up writing down. But it's good to get it out there, and I feel a lot better that I made some type of content today, and I made products. I'm happy. I'm like super happy, but it's just the beginning. I'm just getting started, and there's so much more to do. Don't forget, you all, to get your LLC, get your corporation. Like, that was definitely supposed to be one of my goals. I don't know about your goals, but one of my goals was to definitely make sure I opened up an LLC before 2023, because the people that I have listened to, or I look up to, or they're motivators of mine, have instructed that. But it's something that I always have wanted for myself since 2014. So I'm looking at 2022, how I have yet to put it together, but I have had my ups and downs with so many different businesses, and that's because I enjoy a lot. And I don't know how many other people is just like me, where you literally have like 5, 6, 7 different trades, and you just literally want to be someone or be something or do something different every day, and don't have to worry about doing the same thing every single day. But there is something that you do have to focus on to make that consistent income until you make enough from all of the skills that you have, or you find a good career that really speaks to you as a person. So I wish everyone nothing but peace, blessings, prosperity, abundance, healing, and time is of an essence. So I say we should definitely continue to use it wisely, but enjoy our life to the fullest, or speak to someone on how you can get started on that. And it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel happy, it's okay to grieve. So don't ever feel like you can't feel the way that you feel. Like, allow yourself to feel those things and acknowledge those feelings, because they mean something to you. And if they mean something to you, I'm sure it might mean something to someone else, but they definitely mean something to you. So figure out how to deal with it, cope with it, handle it, move forward. And it's okay if they come back. I guess that's what they call that PTSD, when you kind of relive a feeling or relive an event physically or mentally or emotionally. It's something that a lot of people actually suffer from, but don't even know that they are suffering from, this trauma or this happiness. Because I feel like PTSD can be a happy moment in your life if you can constantly see yourself getting married over and over again, and it's like this is a brand new relationship every time you're with a person. Like, would you still consider that PTSD? Like, I'm asking. Like, you can definitely answer back and comment, like, and subscribe to let me know that, yeah, you agree or disagree, or you've been thinking the same, but you didn't have anyone to open up to. So, also, like the hair, like the outfit, got more for that. But again, have a great night. It is now 8:39 p.m. It is still August the 29th, 2022, and people are starting school, probably doing homework. There's probably no homework yet. It's normally no homework the first 2 weeks of school, just a whole bunch of paperwork. But please, please be careful, be safe, and don't take weapons to school, especially the school year is just starting. Who are you afraid of already, or who are you trying to protect yourself from? Don't do what you've been seeing all over social media. Don't be a part of the bad hype. Don't get yourself a freaking charge in the middle of school year or in the beginning of school year. Just get in, try to get your education, your edumacation, and get out. Make your friends, make your circle of people, be a part of committees, be a part of, whatever it is that they have going on, be a part of those positive, good things, so that way your school record looks good, and when you transition to college or trade school or to a job or a career, it looks good. That's all it's about, is building a good resume and a good rapport on yourself. Don't start off with going into the system. We're already in a system, but don't go into a school system looking to be incarcerated and locked up like a real slave. Like, this stuff that we're doing is very minute compared to what can be going on behind bars. Behind bars is not somewhere you want to be unless that's where you want to be. And it sucks. It really sucks. I mean, it's an eye-opener, but to have someone tell you literally when to wake up, when not to wake up, when to eat, when not to eat, when you can go outside like recess, when you can't, when you can make a phone call. I mean, we have enough of that with some of our parents. We really don't need that with someone like eyeballing you, mugging you, and then you literally still have to have money back there. So getting locked up is not freedom, because you still have to have money. Regardless if you're inside or outside, money is still going to revolve around. Or you don't have soap and you don't have a washcloth, and it's like, what the freak? It's not fun, and it's not a good look, and it does mess with your reputation. It messes with your characteristics as a person. It messes with you mentally, emotionally, psychologically, however you want to explain it. So don't do that for yourself unless you're really trying to get all of this extra clout off of social media for it, and you're trying to build your hood reputation of don't fuck with me, and I guess putting your little stripes and stuff so that way you can get acknowledged by mainstream media, or those secret societies, or whatever it is that you think you're putting together for yourself. Because trust me, like they say, it's not always greener on the other side, and it's not always that simple and easy. So get ready for big sacrifices and big awakenings. And yes, some of you guys don't have your moms and dads. Some of you all don't have your grandparents. Some of you, been raising yourself. Try to look for a mentor, because there are still people in their 20s and in their 30s and in their 40s that do not mind taking you underneath their wing. Even if they don't have much to offer, they have their time and their experience with this lifestyle to try to guide you as best as possible to make the best decisions. And again, you have to learn how to critically think about stuff and have decision-making skills on what is best for you and what you're looking for. And there's always a step or a plan for what it is that you want. So you just have to follow the process and be patient, because nothing is created overnight. It's just not the way that it is, unless you like literally ran into $100K or like $300,000. Then yeah, it can kind of be built overnight, but not technically. There's only so much that you can do overnight, which is websites and all of that stuff. But you still have to find property. You still have to find people to do your permits and all of these extra things. So don't be in a rush, but make sure you're putting some type of action every single day or every other day towards the life that you want to build for yourself. So again, everything is not for everyone, but hopefully this reaches enough people to make them realize that, again, they're not alone, and there's someone that is experiencing the same things as you. So again, find your community, group of people, and continue to share your thoughts and your opinions and your experiences. And being spiritual and religious means a lot to different people, so don't let no one knock your characteristics. Like me, I would definitely say that I am, at this point, I didn't call myself religious, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I am very spiritual and I am religious. And I still tend to find myself eating very poorly, but my mind is sharp as much as it can be, and I have been traumatized mentally and contusionally. So there has been a little bit of damage to my head and to my brain that still has to be further examined by professionals, but that's a long process and a long journey. And some days I really decide not to go in there complaining about this or that or this, to really get down to the nitty-gritty of things and just let the universe decide when it's time, or let my body decide when it's time to get things checked out. Especially working so much, it's really complicated to make those appointments like you need to for your health. But don't knock them. They have the technology, they have the tools, and they do have the pharmaceuticals to help out a little bit. Not necessarily cure anything, but they have a lot of ways of treating stuff. I think the cure really comes from within versus the external things, other than being out in nature, which I feel like heals a lot. So much love, much respect, and again, I hope this video reaches whoever has been looking for it. because again, this is just the beginning to astrology or numerology, and I still have a couple of more videos on my page that speaks a little bit about it, but I'm not that consistent. So I can definitely be upfront and say that, and you guys probably already know it too, because you've been following my page forever. Yeah, because I go through my own things. So when something just pops up, I just get on, put it out there real quick. But I do have a podcast on Anchor, so I'll have to give you that details later. But for the most part, I love every platform, and I am on almost every platform that's out there. And I do a little bit of everything. So don't be surprised if you ever come across other things, because it's a part of life. It is a part of who we are. So don't think I'm all goody two shoes, and don't think I'm all blah, 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 because guess what? We all come with different backgrounds and different expertise and different interests. So I hope you're ready for this roller coaster, because it's just getting started.